Okay. Hello. Good evening to each and everyone. To the director and founder of Institute of Global Professionals, Dr. Kaushik Datta, Sir. IGP Chairman, Dr. Babli, Sir. IGP Head Ambassador Ume Salma, Ma'am. Speakers Emmanuel F. Del Rosario, Sir, and Mom Geraldine A. Santos, Mom, and of course, to all the IGP members watching tonight, once again, good evening to all of you. Welcome to the International Free Webinar. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful evening. Anyways, I am your host for tonight. My name is Rohamina P. Gapor. I am currently a teacher, journal manager at Saint Teresa International College, Thailand. It is my pleasure to be part of the Institute of Global Professionals. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar. Thank you so much, IGP, for this wonderful opportunity. Okay, so before we formally begin our program, let me tell you about IGP because we have a new participants joining us tonight. Okay, so the Institute of Global Professionals serves as a resource to students and the community, providing holistic social work and education to create a competent generation. We have organized this webinar training online and offline courses from best trained speakers, trainers from all over the world to create a best learning platform for all of you. Our mission is to empower people and improve their skills. We have already successfully completed the 128th webinar on way of success from classroom to workplace. And I am pretty sure you've learned a lot from that webinar. And today, we are presenting the 121st webinar on teaching English for students with special needs with two speakers, Sir Emmanuel F. Del Rosario and Geraldine A. Santos from the Philippines. Okay, we know that students fail in school for a variety of reasons. In some cases, their academic difficulties can be directly attributed to deficiencies in the teaching and learning environment. For example, students with limited English may fail because they do not have access to effective bilingual or English as a second language instruction. Students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds may have difficulty if instruction presumes middle class experiences. Other students may have learning difficulties stemming from linguistic or cultural differences. These difficulties may become more serious over time if the instruction is not modified to address students' specific needs. Okay, and this evening, our speakers will help us to discuss about the needs of the students and how to become an effective instructor. Okay, so let's start our program with IGP's mantra, feed your skills. Okay, so our first speaker, he is a language coach for international English school in different countries such as China, Vietnam, and Philippines, and also etc. and also in different parts of the world. Okay, so please, our audience, our dear participants, don't forget to share this webinar in your community, tag your friends, or comment their names in the chat box or comments section below. Okay, so now please help me welcome our dear first speaker, Sir Emmanuel F. Del Rosario. Sir, good evening.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Romina, for that very warm welcome. So, and also thank you very much
Talaga, sir.
to you. Thank you. And also thank you for the
Sir.
Institute of Global Professional for welcoming us and for giving us our chance to discuss several things about our expertise. So,
Okay,
we are
sir.
going to start right now. So, again, good evening, everybody. So, let me just share my screen here. Okay. Okay, so again, so my name is Emmanuel Del Rosario from the Philippines. I am a language coach, a TESOL trainer, Easy Talk online English supervisor, ESL teacher, English 7 coordinator, blogger, content writer, theater actor, and IELTS reviewer. So for today, we are going to start this session with teaching English to non-native speakers. I think there's a lot of country that we can call as non-native speakers of English because when we say a native speakers, English is their first language. When we say non-native speakers, English is their second language. So again, my name is Emmanuel F. Del Rosario and I am going to start this evening with this one. So let's start with a quotation. We teach to educate, not to impress. This is my motto in life. So I do not teach to impress. I teach to educate these students. For today's, for tonight's objective, we are going to first understand how to teach English for non-native speakers. Number two, think of better ways in teaching. As we all know, teaching is a very difficult task and a very difficult profession for everybody. So we are going to deal with it. Now, here are the tips on how to teach English to non-native speakers. Number one, don't be boring. Second, show, don't tell. Three, keep it simple. Four, slow down and use easy vocabulary. Five, give them lots of time to practice. And number six, and lastly, always check for understanding. We are going to tackle each one of this thoroughly. Let's start with the first thing. First thing, don't be boring. First one, build rapport or connection first. Before you start teaching the second language, because most of your students are so afraid and anxious about this new language that they are going to learn, do not start with the lesson itself. Start with building a rapport or connection to the students. By these, you are going to make a good atmosphere for your students, and they are now going to perform very well. Start with saying good morning or good afternoon and introduce yourself as your teacher, like, hi there, good evening, my name is Teacher Neo. So you can say like that. And you can start with your name. If you are teaching 1:1, you can ask the student directly, what is your name? Or if you are teaching inside the classroom, you can ask them one by one if possible. If not possible, if you think it will take a lot of time, maybe 3 to 5 students is already good. Then start your lesson by asking them, how are they? Or how are they doing? You need to first understand what they are into now. If they feel a little bit sad, then think of something that can uplift their spirit. Another one, if they are not too attentive, get their attention first. So we do not teach the language or the English language to non-native speakers without building a good atmosphere. It is like a sort of motivation as well. As we all know, according to the theory um, of readiness, we need to make our students ready before the learning. Another one, use a lot of games and songs to encourage your students to practice and produce the language you taught. First, this language is not native to them. Worse is if your student is like zero knowledge in English, it will be really a great job for you or a tough one. So I suggest you use a lot of games and songs to practice. So you can start with hi or hello song. You can start with the alphabet song. You can also start with the how are you song like that. So it depends upon to you what song do you think is easy for you. I remember before, like 5 years ago, when I start teaching a Chinese student, because before I teach Vietnamese, Filipinos, a student from Thailand, from Vietnam, from Egypt, but not with Chinese. They really like the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So I tried to learn or to master this song, although I'm not good in singing as well. So I started singing this song like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So we make different version and I do some actions for my hands like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So you can start with that. And also, you can start with games. Like what I've told you, you need to build rapport. You can use games in able to get their attention. So how are you going to get their attention? Maybe you can say you can do like fill in the blank for the alphabet, like A, B, C, D. So you are going to ask your student to fill in the blank or to give the missing letters. So by that, you are going to have a good atmosphere with the class. It's like you are asking or you are making your students be uplifted before giving the lesson itself. Letter C, incorporate your student interest so they want to learn more. So what do we mean by this? So it is anchored with a Gardner theory of multiple intelligence, wherein our students have different kind of intelligence. There are some who are good with numbers, some who are good with drawing, some who are good with singing. So if you are teaching in a group, maybe I suggest you group them differently based on their interest. Like this group A are good in singing. This group B are good in dancing. This group C are good in drawing. And thereafter, you try to make some differentiated activity in able for you to uplift their interest first on you. And if possible, because most of the time, if you're teaching ESL, you have a one-on-one student. So you can do it by asking the student, what do you like? What do you want? What is your favorite fruit? What is your favorite game? Where do you want to go? So try to ask these questions to your student. And number four, letter D, animate your voice if needed. So do not be boring because if you are going to speak like a monotonous level, like, okay, class, we are going to talk about verb. The verb is the word that shows an action. So the student will be bored and they are not going to listen to you, especially if you are teaching a lot of students inside the class. In the Philippines, in our classroom, I have like 70 to 80 students per class. So it's very difficult to teach them English if you are not going to get their attention because there is a probability that they are not going to listen to you. Why? Because they don't like to study English. But when they like you or they like the way how you teach, they are going to listen to you really well. So, how are we going to animate our voice? Example. Okay, so class, good morning. How are you today? Oh, you, Mark, how are you? Wow, that's great. How about you, Grace? What did you do a while ago? You can start with that. And you can use your voice to emphasize some knowledge. Okay, so verb are words that shows an action. Actions like walking, dancing, listening, and other more. So that could make your class engaging. Remember, it is not just in the ESL lesson. It could also be in all subjects. This is the very first thing that you need to do. You need to get your student attention. So it's like that. Second thing, show, don't tell. This is one of the biggest pitfalls of language teacher. We are too wordy. We have a tendency of telling a lot of words, telling a lot of things, but actually our student cannot visualize it because it is not their first language. So they are still adopting on the language. So show, do not tell. First thing, the students will better understand what you are trying to say if you use visual cues rather than spill a word in their direction. So example, when you talk about apple, you show a picture of an apple. When you mention about orange, you show an orange. When you are saying walking, you try to walk inside your classroom. When you say smile, you need to show them a smile. In this, we are going to use the TPR. So TPR is a total physical response. So you are going to use your body as another form of language, and it will make your class really interesting at all. Like I have here a puppet. So this one. So I always use this in the beginning of my class. Like, okay, class, when I say stand up, so you are going to be with Mr. Panda. So ready, stand up. So Mr. Panda will also stand up. So by that, the student can understand what you really mean to say. So it's like that. So you are asking them to listen to the word, and also you are doing the words together. And wow, if you do it together, the learning will be there. Okay? So I understand that in language teaching, we would like the student to understand the direction, but these students with non-native language or they have English as their non-native language, and sometimes they have a hard time understanding the language at first. So it's better really to show. It's like that. Letter B. Combines short lectures with a lot of interaction and hands-on training. I do it in my classroom. Example, I used to teach birth. So I will be grouping the class into four groups. The first group will be performing five kinds of birth, and the other one will be having another five kinds, another one will be five, and another one will be five. So I will be giving them like 2 minutes to think of way how they're going to perform those things. Then we're going to present the word on the board, and the group who have that word will perform it. So by that, although you don't give really the meaning of the word, but because they did the action itself, they can really get the gist or understand the lesson itself. So that's it. So maybe we are actually thinking, why my students are not listening to me? Why my students always forgot what does this word mean? What does this word mean? It's because you lose interaction. That is really important. You really need to let them try something. You just don't let them visualize. You just don't let them imagine. Let them do it. Remember, learning by doing. Okay, letter C. Use pictures, videos, and diagrams to help them visualize what you are talking about. So, example, you are saying like, oh, this is an apple. So, like what I told you a while ago, you show a picture of an apple. So, example, this is a panda. So, I'm going to show a picture of a panda. So that is really interesting for them. Another one, you can show some videos, especially in the big classes. Before I start my lesson, example, my lesson um, is about nouns. So I'm going to show them a short video of different kind of nouns. If possible, I'm going to show them a song wherein the lesson was incorporated. Also, diagram might help you, especially if you are dealing with the connection between words. Another one, keep pictures age appropriate. If your student is like elementary, make it age appropriate. Example, you're going to teach like eating. You most of the pictures should have like children within the picture. If your student is like high school, make it for high school. If it is for adult, then use an uh, adult related pictures wherein they can catch up. Because if you are going to present a picture to a child of an adult doing something, they cannot relate. Why? Because they are going to think, oh, that's very impossible, teacher. That's not me. So that's very impossible for me to do because that is already big. That is already an adult. He's already a grown up. So that's it. I hope you learned so far with the two things here. Okay. So remember again, number one, do not forget, don't be boring. Number two, show, don't tell. Next, number three, keep it simple. Do not make your life miserable by doing complicated things. Why? Because you are making your life really hard or complicated as well as the life of the students. So teach language or teach lessons one at a time. So letter A, avoid complexity as you begin teaching students English as a second language. Start with the sound. As we remember, in linguistics, we need to follow the different part of linguistics or the different sub branches. We should start with the phonetics. You teach the sound. Example, your lessons are about animals. So you start with the dog. You start with the sound of duh, duh, then then go. Then you start with there. Then start with dog, with cat, with rat, with pig, start with that. Do not teach your student about hippopotamus. Do not teach your student about dinosaurs because the pattern there will be like CBC or three letter only. So you need to follow it. Then, if you are done with this lesson, if you think that a student is now ready for the second lesson, then jump to it. Do not make your life so miserable. Do not make your student mind be bombarded. Why? Remember, it's quality versus quantity. It's not about the number of lessons you have taught. It's about how many lessons the student understood. How many lessons did the student really get from that? So because although we are following like a lesson guide or a lesson platform or like a division of lessons, we are trying to teach everything. But have we ever come to think of it that our students really understood everything or not? So that is the thing. If you are going to teach language or English to non-native speaker, make sure to avoid complexity. Make it simple. Simple. Then when they're already finished with this one, go with another one, then go to a higher level. That should be scaffolding or like a staircase. Letter B. Start with text that features basic sentence structure. When you are teaching students English for the first time, do not start with a very long sentence like Maria went to town while Marco went to the market. Do not start with that. As possible, I suggest you teach a sentence that only has three words or four words. Like, Maria is beautiful. Anna is tall. Jacob is handsome. You start with there. When you think that a student is very well off versed on those kind of sentence pattern, now you start adding the direct object. Okay? So Maria ate apple. You now start there. Then when you see that they are already good on that, add one more structure of the language. Do not present everything at once. Mind you, if you're going to present all of these on your students, I think they will not remember anything. That's it. So that is very important. That is one of the pitfall of some teachers because they really would like to hit all the lessons, hit all the objectives, but that's not like that. Another one, letter C. Use simple vocabulary and do not progress to more complex rules of grammar until the student grasps the basics. Do not start with a very complicated word if you are teaching English for grade one, grade two, or for beginners level of English. You start with the English or the word that they can easily understood, like are you done? Are you okay? So let's eat. Start with that. Do not make it so complicated. Like, hey, do you think that your stomach is like running out your body? So the student will be looking at you. Teacher, what did you say? So they're just going to look at you and they are not going to understand that. So when you think that they are already good in the basic vocabulary, start to teach them one new vocabulary word at a time. I suggest every day one vocabulary is fine. Like your word for the day. If you are teaching in a classroom, I always do this in my class. We have the word for the day. Imagine in the whole a year, we have like 180 days. If you have one word every day, that will be a total of 180 words that will be added to their mind or to their vocabulary. Do not force them to learn like 10 words, 100 words at once because that will be so impossible to happen. Except if your student is very advanced or genius. But for ordinary students, I think they will be having a hard time understanding that one. Start with simple vocabulary, then add one more, add one more, add one more until they reach the highest level of the words. So it's like that. So do not make your life miserable. Do not make your life complicated. Do not make the student's life really complicated. Let's let's have peace on earth. So let's make everybody happy. We learn and we are happy. So remember another thing. If the students feel that your class is very interesting, although your class is very long or your class is really hard, they are going to excel on your class. I remember one time I used to teach this number of students. Whenever I come near to their classroom, they are so excited. Hey, teacher New is there. So we are going to have our class again. And I was actually thinking, why are they excited? My class is a very hard class or a hard subject, but they're so excited because, you got their attention and they know that you want them to learn. You are like helping them to learn. Remember, teaching right now is facilitating. We teach, we let them try, then we add more knowledge, we let them try so that it will be added. Letter D, make instruction crystal clear by using new words. This is one of the problems in terms of our instruction and to some examination. There is like read all the sentences carefully. After reading the sentences, understand the meaning of the underlined word. After understanding the meaning of the underlined word, think of a word that has the same meaning with it. Then after thinking, write it on the blank after. So that is a very bombarding instruction. Why don't you make it like read the sentence and give some word that can be the same meaning with the underlying word. So that's better. Okay, so don't make it too wordy. So it's not really about the number of words, although you have a lot of highfalutin words actually in the language circle. We call it highfalutin and highfalutin. Highfalutin, if that is really challenging the mind of the student, that's highfalutin. But that is highfalutin if because of that word, the student knowledge was really bombarded and they have a hard time or it made them difficult to understand what you really mean. So we need to make it crystal clear. Okay? Next one. Break down series of instruction into smaller units. Example, you want your student to answer a series of examination. You ask them, okay, read and write. Break it down to smaller units of instruction. Another one, you said, okay, so verb is like word that shows action. You start from that. It can be an action or this and this. For example, walk, run, see, fly. So you start with that. Make it simple. Do not go beyond the student's capability. Remember, according to idealism by John Locke, the student mind is like a tabula rasa or like a blank state of mind. So we are feeding it. So you cannot fit it when you put everything there. So you need to put it little by little so that it will be inculcated on their mind. So that's the thing on it. So number four is slow down and use easy vocabulary. So make a conscious effort to slow down when speaking. The problem with teachers, because we master language or we mastered English, we are so quick in speaking like this. I remember I had a very advanced class, and my student asked me to speak quickly or very fast. And I start speaking so quick. And the student said, "Oh, teacher, I cannot understand it anymore. That was so quick." So try to make it slowly. Why? Because the students need to understand what you are saying. They need to get word by word the idea from the idea. They need to get it. So make it like a very slowly kind of speaking. Like when you say, okay, so noun are words that tells the names of animals, places, things, and human or events. So you start with that. Do not say, okay, verb is like the blah, 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 blah. So the student will never understand you. And also, I suggest if you are saying an important thing, write it on the board or use the chat box. Why? According to learning strategy or the learning ability of the student, if they hear something, there is like a several percentage that they can understand it. When they hear it and they see it and they do it, like 90% of knowledge or understanding will be there. The thing will retain on their mind. Remember, if we're going to teach ESL or language or English language to non-native speaker, we are like taking care of a child. We are not going to give them meat. We need to give them milk. And we need to take care of them until they are already mature and they are ready. So that is how we teach the non-native speakers of English. Next one, become aware of the type of vocabulary and structure you are using. So you need to think whether is this vocabulary appropriate with my students? Do I need to say the word um, tremendous to a grade one student? I think they cannot understand that. Make it big. So do you think you are going to say this word like the word taciturn to my students? So I think they cannot understand that. It start again with the simple words. Then, if you think that they are now ready, then go ahead. Then teach them what they need to know. It's like that. So we need to make them prepared for the new lesson as always. And also with the structure, again, step by step. Although we would like them to learn a lot of things, but again, I want you or I suggest everybody to do it slowly. And this letter C is really a delicate part. Do not associate English word with their native language or with this native language equivalent. Example, do not allow them to think of the English term or the English sentence in their own language, and they are going to do verbatim to transfer the message or to translate it to English. Do not do that. Why? Because the construction of different languages, sometimes they are different with English. Some languages start with a verb, followed by the noun. Some languages start with adjective, then followed by the verb and the noun. In English, we always start with noun. If we're going to follow the syntax analysis, so it will be divided into two phrases. We have the noun phrase and we have the verb phrase. So as we all know, noun phrase, there should be the noun in there in the beginning. Okay, now do not allow them to think it, okay, what am I going to say? I need to say it first in my own language. Okay, then I'm going to try it to translate in English. And because of that, a lot of sentences were already been a problem. So sometimes they cannot cheat what they really mean. So this is what I do with my Chinese and with some of my Vietnamese students because they always use a translator. I told them, make your sentence on your mind in English. Do not make it like on your language. Why? Because if you're going to make it on your mind as English, your mind will practice how to construct the sentence in English in your mind. It's fine that at first it will not be so good because that is our task as teachers. We are going to teach them, we are going to mold them, we are going to correct them, we are going to help them attain the next level of learning. So if they got mistake with here, then tell them what is the reason, what is the mistake, and what should they do. Then I think as time goes by, as you go along with your teaching, they are going to get what you really mean to say. So again, so let's go back with our first thing. So again, number one, don't be boring. So you need to make your life so happy. So especially with this kind of online webinar, if a person is like less energy, I think that will be a problem. So right now, I try to make my energy as high as possible. Okay, number two, show, don't tell. And number three, keep it simple. And number four, slow down and use easy vocabulary. Okay, now let's go with number five. Give them lots of time to practice. It's like practice, practice, practice. According to a saying, practice makes perfect. Although nobody's perfect, but let's talk about that quotation. So speak to them in English as often. You need to speak to them in English during your English class. Why? There's a lot of countries, according to my research, that used to teach English by using their own language. So they are using their own language to teach English. And because of that, the chance or the time that a student can engage themselves in someone who is speaking English will be lessened as possible, talk to them in English, even though you are not in the class. I always do it in my classroom. My students always talk to me in English. Actually, they always ask me, Teacher Neil, can we speak in Tagalog? That is our national language, Filipino. Can we speak in Filipino or in Tagalog? And I said, oh, I think I will not allow you because I want you to practice English. So remember, you allow them to practice their English. I remember when I was young at home, my mom and my dad, or in our family, although we are not a native speaker of English, they asked the whole family to speak in English for like several days. And with that, we can able to practice it. So inside the classroom, allow them to try or to experience speaking English. Although, yes, they may not be perfect, but the fact that they have the first step, they already had their first step speaking English, so that will be continuous. So actually, there was a student of mine. I used to teach her like uh, 8 years ago, and she really liked the way how I teach, and that's why she also took teaching as her major, and she took English teaching. And right now, she is also a licensed professional English teacher. And she messaged me on Facebook like, "Hey, teacher Neo, remember me? So I was like a kind of child or a student who is very shy in speaking English, but you always talk to me in English, and you never let me speak in our own language whenever it's your time. Now, teacher, I am an English teacher as well, like you. So, see, you were able to touch the student. Okay, so actually, one burden or one thing that I always challenge on is how I can make the student on the lower level or in the lower section to speak English because that is the challenge. Given that for the pilot section or the higher section, they have a greater chance of understanding the language or English. But how about those students who are not so intelligent? What are we going to do? So that is actually a problem. So that's why I always try to teach the lower level students because it is like a great accomplishment for me if I ask them to speak English. I remember one time a math teacher approached me. I think she's a little bit angry, but she is actually happy. She told me, "Hey, teacher Neo, you know what? That class corrected my English. I mentioned this, but they mentioned me that, oh, ma'am, that's not possible. If you are using a singular verb, that should be a singular. When you're using singular subject, that could be approach, or that will be bundled with singular verb. And they tried to correct my sentence. Actually, I'm angry at first, but I'm still happy because they were able to catch up what you taught. So see, so the student, when the student really understood or can practice what you are teaching, the learning will be there for a longer period of time. That's it. Make them practice. Another one, make the student listen and repeat the language structure several times after you. So the first thing, they need to listen to you. Do not ask them, okay, read this one. Okay, what is this? Do not start with that. You need to model it. Again, remember, you need to be the example. So you need to let them, okay, so I'm going to read several words. You need to listen to me. Then after listening, you will be the one to read this one. Example, you are going to make like a word drill. So you are going to read several words like speech, lean, clean, like that. You need to be the example. You let them look on your mouth, especially when you are pronunciating some words. I remember there are some nationalities that they have some problem with the R and the L. When I asked them to say the word ruler, they said lula. When I asked them to read the sound grateful, they said grateful. So what I did with that one, I was able to identify their the thing that we need to recover first or to teach first. So I asked them to do some practice on their pronunciation. Like I'm teaching them how to produce the sound, like the sound of R. So instead of you using the R, I make it like a little bit exaggerated so that the tongue will be twirled like like that. And afterward, we are going to make it softer until we reach the er, er. Okay, then when we repeat it, ruler, 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 they are not going to say ruler, 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 and I'm so happy, and they're so happy. They said, "Teacher, wow, that's very effective." So remember, practice, practice, practice. Although remember you are running up your time, never mind about the time. Make sure that the students really learn something from you. That is the most important thing. And letter C, provide lots of examples. You need to give a lot of examples. Like you mentioned about the verb. If possible, you have like 70 students, ask them one by one to give at least one noun. Like you, okay? Stand up, stand up, give your noun until everybody experience how to do it. Remember, there are some students who don't want to speak. They are introverted. They don't want to speak. They don't want to perform because they are afraid that they might commit mistake. Let them realize that mistake or committing mistake is a part of the process. So let them speak. Let them try it. Because if you are not going to let them try, so how are you going to be sure that they really understood what you taught? Let them have some example. So this is what I do. Sometimes we use different strategy. So aside from asking them to give like some words by themselves, I ask them to have like a sheet of paper. They're going to write it out there. I'm going to give them like 10 seconds to write as many as they can. Then after 10 seconds, I ask them to raise it up. And they're so happy. Actually, they're gone crazy within the class. They are so excited about this activity. So, they are going to really think of the time, and everybody are so serious about what they are doing. So it's like that. So let's practice about that. Next one, let them practice the language in their daily life. So you need to let them practice the language in their daily life. Although I know that English is not their native language, but let's ask them or motivate them to use this language because they already mastered the first language. So now it's your time to shine. It's your time to learn the other language. So if possible, you are talking with your friend, speak in English. In our classroom, I always ask them to speak English. So they are only allowed to speak in the main language if their teacher or the subject need to talk about in the first language. But other than that, while I am sitting at the back of the class, they are not allowed to speak in Filipino or in our main language. By that, they can practice, and I could say that as time goes by, within the span of 1 year, If I'm going to compare their linguistic performance on the first month of our class versus the last month of our class, there is actually a great increase on their performance. That's the thing. So I hope you learned something from that. And number six, always check for understanding. Number one, again, never assume that your student have understood the lesson or the classroom instruction. Do not ask them, do you have any question? None. Like that. Do you have anything that you need to do? None. Like that. So do you have to do this? Like none. They're going to say none. So ask them one by one. Okay, what have you learned? Ask somebody from the class. So what have you learned like that? So what can you say about the topic? So what can you say about this? So never assume that they have understood. Check their understanding. You need to check their understanding really. Why? Because if you think that they cannot really perform the language very well, you need to reteach or you need to do some review about that lesson. So never assume that they understood the lesson. You need to check it out. Check it out first by giving some questions. Remember the Bloom taxonomy of questioning? So you need to give it to them. Start with the knowledge, then until you reach the evaluation and the application. Next, letter B. Keep checking whether they understood by asking and reading body language. So after you ask them, actually you can see their faces, you can see their body language. If they are like this, maybe they're so shy, you try to check out if they really understood. Oh, you do. I think you are thinking about the lesson. So can you share about what you have learned today? If the student says, "Oh no, teacher," you uplift them. You motivate them. Yes, you can do it because I have seen you a while ago that you are listening well to the lesson. So you ask your student to speak. Actually, in my class, I always ask to speak, or I always ask the students who are not speaking actually, who are so shy. I always ask them to speak in the class. I always ask them to report this. I always ask them to do this one, because they are the students who really need our care, who really need our instruction, who really need to learn about English language. Okay, never ever embarrass a student as you make some correction. This is one thing that is really critical. Do not embarrass your student. When the student got some mistake, you try to construct or do some constructivism approach or constructivist approach. You try the student to speak first. Okay, I see. So, wow, I like that answer. Start with that. You need to make the student feel that he really did so well. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, however, I think your answer will be better if you're going to do like this. If the student says, okay, uh, he like that the student don't know what to follow. You said, oh, he is what? He's like walking, reading. So you try to prove something that the student can say. So you can say like that. Or the student commit some mistakes in grammar. Example, um, she she eats an apple. So do you know it should be eats? So you're going, okay, so she eat an apple. How many person are we referring to? She is only one. Remember our rules. So we are going to have a singular verb. We have singular subject. So what do you think will be the best form of the language? It should be eat or eats. Eat. Very good. Wow. The answer came from you. So do not put do not let them or do not give the answer. Allow them to think of it. Allow them to do it by themselves. It's like that. You need to understand it. This is the nature of the student. And last one, always use reinforcement. If you think your student cannot really perform well, use reinforcement. Always make them practice. If you think that they don't yet understood the lesson, try to make some activities that can augment the learning, that can uplift the learning. Example, they are not so good in active and passive voice. So you try to make some games like this group will be saying something and this group will be transforming the active voice to the passive voice. It's like that. So you try to make some reinforcement. You need to be creative. Why? Remember, our students need to gain our attention. Although they value us, although they respect us, although they want to listen to us, but there will be a time that when they are really bored on your classes, they are not going to listen. That's very important. By the way, although teaching English requires to develop the five macro skill, which is listening, speaking, reading, writing, and viewing. These tips that I gave are the tips that you can do if you are teaching a non-native speaker for the first time. As time goes by, you can now add more lessons. You can now add more information. You can now add more strategy. You can add more structure. That's it. So it's like that. Like what I've told you a while ago, we are when we teach non-native speaker the English language, we are like taking care of a baby. Start with the milk, then afterwards, do it as time goes by. Add more, add more, add more. Then when you think that they really perform very well, then now it's time for you to make some challenging tasks for them. Now ask them about to make some sentences. Ask them to make some paragraphs. Ask them to write some essays. Now ask them to make some blogs. Actually, right now, I always want my students to make their vlogs because vlogs are very informative and they really enjoy. I ask them to speak English inside their house for like an hour, but they're going to cut. They're going to say, "Hey, so here I am now. Here I'm going to cook my favorite dish for the day. So here is my mom who she will be helping with me out here, and these are the things that we had." So because of that, I could see that the students really understood what we teach. So that's it. Okay, so that is the best thing. So always check for understanding. And again, do not make the students embarrassed or intimidated. Okay? Let them feel that you are there to listen. Let them feel that you are there to help them and guide them. So if they commit mistake, help them. Do not say, "Oh, that's wrong. This is the best. This is the worst thing." Okay? Do not say you're wrong. Do not say that one. Say, "Mm-mm, well, that is really good, but I tried to make it better. Try to correct your student in a better way so that everybody will say, "Oh, I see. Oh, you already have a good answer. Oh, yes, I have a good answer. So, oh, this will be better. So I'm going to listen to teacher. So I'm going to apply it on the next time." It's like that. So I hope you learned something for today. So let's review. So the first thing that we need to do if you're going to teach English for non-native speaker for the first time, don't be boring. Another one, show and tell. Number three, keep it simple. Number four, slow down and use easy vocabulary. Number five, give them lots of time to practice. And number six, always check for understanding. Remember, when teaching English to non-native speakers, the goal is less to get them learn the rules of English grammar and more to get them able to read, write, and speak a foreign language. Your main purpose or your main objective is to let them read, speak, and write the foreign language. Grammar might follow. Remember, grammar is can be taught after several times, so we can correct it. As long as they already have the word, they know how to speak, they know how to write, then that's possible that we can teach them grammar, we can polish their sentences. But the first thing to do is allow them to speak, read, and write the foreign language. This tip for teaching English will help you get as far as you try to help these students. I hope everybody learned something from here. So and I actually, in my 11 years of teaching other countries students, like foreign students, I think this is very effective if you're going to start with it, especially with children and adults whose level of English is very low. I think these things are so good. Okay, so time to say goodbye for you, everybody. So again, I'm going to leave you with my quotation. This is from me, actually. So we teach to educate, not to impress. So we teach our students to let them learn something, not to make ourselves so good. Remember, they already know that we are capable of speaking the language. They already know that we are already good because we are teachers. So no need to do that. So let them teach to educate the students, not to impress that you are good. Because at the end of the day, the student performance will tell how good you are. So there you go. So again, so I am Emmanuel F. Del Rosario. This is teaching English to non-native speaker, and this will be followed by the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Wow, sir. Thank you so much for that very clear presentation and explanation, sir. We love how energetic you are. Oh my god, sir. I agree with you, sir. I am 100% agree with you that in order to teach English effectively to non-native speaker, teacher should not be boring just like you. Just like
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
We
And
can do
then
it.
another, yes, show, don't tell. Lead them, sir, right?
Yeah.
And three, keep it simple. Just like what you have mentioned, don't make it complicated or avoid complexity.
Yes.
Yes. And number four, show down and use easy vocabulary and give them lots of time to practice. And last, always check for understanding. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Actually, we have one participants here. Jen Fuentesilia said, "How I wish I could be like you, sir, someday. I really like someone like you, very articulate. And, sir, some of your students are watching tonight. Hi, Hassel Antutol. He said, proud student here.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Let us thank Sir Emmanuel F. Del Rosario for his wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
We
you
like
very
your
much.
energy. Okay,
Thank you.
so you're welcome. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on to another energetic speaker tonight. And she is a English language coordinator and language teacher. Please help us to give a warm welcome to Miss or to Mom Geraldine A. Santos from the Philippines. Hi, Ma'am. Good evening.
Hi there. Hi there. Good evening, everyone. I am so happy to be here and honored for that given to
Yes,
me.
Mom. Okay, so dear participants, please don't forget to share this webinar in your community, mention your friends or tag your friends because this webinar is very helpful to each and everyone. Okay, so please welcome Mom Geraldine A. Santos. Good luck, Mom.
Thank you. So let me share my screen now. Let us see. Do you see my screen now?
Not yet, Mom.
Hello? Is it okay? Just give me a moment.
Okay, sure, Mom. Take your time.
Okay. Now, do you see it now?
Not yet, Mom.
Thank you. So, once again, good evening, everyone. Okay. Is it seen now? Hello? Sound check first. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Okay, wait a moment, Mom. Okay,
Okay.
Mom. Wonderful. We can see it now, Mom. Okay, good luck,
Okay.
Mom. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mm.
ma'am. Now, good evening again, everyone. It is an honor for me. Thank you, IGP, for the chance to be here now. I am Ma'am Geraldine Santos. I am I have been teaching for 15 years, and I handled inclusive education classes. I also do SPED classes and resource class, and I also started my journey as an ESL teacher. Now, I finished my bachelor's degree in English, major in English, I mean, and I am now currently taking up my master's degree, and hopefully soon I could finish it up. So I am taking SPED in Philippine in the Philippine Normal University. Now I am a curriculum writer, writer and validator for gifted education in the Philippines. I also am a facilitator and speaker for SPED, and of course I am a SPED advocate too. Now, so for today, I am going to show you my journey as a special education teacher. Okay, so I'll be giving you insights about teaching English in special education learners. Now, if we think of it, there's this special education is really a wide or broad topic, but I will trim it down according to what I handled in my school and how I experienced this. Now, my objectives are the following. So, identify common characteristics of LD. Next is provide techniques on how to teach reading to SPED learners. And last, I'll be giving you some examples of LD cases which had become very successful in their journey to our SPED classes. Now, first, we need to go back and define students with learning disability. So, when we say learning disabled students, they are those who demonstrate a significant discrepancy. So something is not right, which is not the result of some other handicap between academic achievement and intellectual abilities in one or more of the areas of the following. So I highlighted it based on what I also experienced. So we have oral expression. These are the different things that are commonly not right with them. Listening comprehension is not good. There is also a problem in written expression, basic reading skills. Reading comprehension is a really big problem, and we also do have mathematical calculation, mathematics reasoning, and of course spelling is included in that. Now let me give you first characteristics of students with learning disability. Now this one is based on what I experienced in my special education with my special education learners, I mean. Now I have here six. The first one has poor handwriting skills, and you can say that their handwriting are not really legible to read, and it's not that nice to see, but you don't tell them that they have poor handwriting skills. Okay, the second one has a low tolerance level and high frustration level. They easily get frustrated. They excuse me, most of them would easily cry, and that's why you have to also help them with that aspect. Another has some difficulty in working with others in small groups or large group settings. So they really find it hard to work on a group. So you always, as a SPED teacher, you have to make sure to do something about it. The fourth one would be finds it difficult, if not impossible, to stay on task for extended periods of time. So you have to make sure here that the different activities that you set to them would only be last for a few minutes, because they really find it hard to really focus on a certain activity. Next, has a weak or poor self-esteem. And another, and is easily confused. So with this, there are different techniques that I'll be giving you later on. It is because they are easily confused with the details. And of course, is easily distractible. I remember having 70 plus in my classroom, and like eight of them are LD learners. So it's quite hard to really manage that size of classroom here in the Philippines. But thankfully, I was able to do that. Now let me give you first the thing that I do. So I learned this one, which is what we call as modification. So when we say modification, it is a change in what students are expected to learn. So you change something in what is expected or are expected to learn from them. It is based, of course, I highlighted there the word individual ability. So this one must be individualized. It doesn't mean that all of your learners are LDs, they do have the same levels. No, it must be individualized. So some of the examples that I do for the modification is first, use of alternate books. So I make sure that I follow the skills and objectives given on their level, but then I use alternative books. And then this one, pass or no pass grading option, that can be another topic to be discussed. Now, I also do rewarded questions in simpler language. So simple sentences matters here. And of course, there's this daily feedback to them, given to them. Now, let me give you some of the techniques on how to modify your reading for SPED learners. So the first one is really, you need to really start with the basic. Now, if you'll be thinking it's like teaching to really the beginners like in kinder, something like that. So if you see that the learner, because I am teaching high school and we have learners in our school who really cannot read. So what they can only do is to write. They only memorize to write their name. So it's quite hard for them to read. It is because of their condition. Now, the first thing that I did before is to help them start with the letter sounds. So letter sounds, that's the beginning. So it's like really teaching the not really toddlers, but in kinder. So you start with the letter sounds and just be very, very patient with them. It is because they find it really difficult to sound the letters. Now, the second technique I mean would be teach one letter or one skill at a time. So don't connect skills in one lesson. So meaning to say, you have to focus on one lesson at a time, one skill at a time. If it is one letter at a time, you really have to do it. It really depends on the level of your learner. Now, again, as I showed you a while ago, they are easily confused. That's why it's best for us to really think of that aspect to teach them like one step at a time. It's like climbing up on stairs, like getting the first step, second step, or if you really cannot go to the next skill, try again giving another alternative activities and intervention activities so that they will be able to really learn from that. So again, as a teacher, you really have to make sure to be very patient. So it's like taking it really, really, really slowly, taking one step at a time, one skill at a time, or one letter at a time. Now, the third one is, of course, to keep your lesson short. It is because they have really this short span of attention span, I mean. So, would be better if you would cut your lessons shorter. So, that's what we do in our resource classes and in our intervention classes. Now, since, let me give you the setting, okay? These learners, these LD learners are included. They are in an inclusive school, just like us here in the Philippines. So most of them are into inclusive education. Now, here's the technique. The very first day of the school, or maybe before the first day, you have to know your learners first. You need to profile them already. So with us, we have a coordinator for SPED, and she's the one doing the different profiling. So when they are enrolled in a class, we already have an idea who these learners are that are having let's say they are LD or any other conditions. Like we also do have ADHD and others. So there's already profiling. Now in here, you need to make sure, because in every day they would be experiencing like 6 to 7 subjects per day, depending on the schedule. And after that, they would take additional classes in the afternoon. So that is where we do the intervention classes and resource classes. So make sure to keep it really, really short, like 40 to 50 minutes only. Or perhaps if it is 1 hour, make sure that there are other activities inserted there so that they will really understand. You just take it easy. Take each lesson at a time. Okay? The fourth one also is never ever, this is a big no no to them, never ever use nonsense words. Why is that? It is because their condition is really, they have limited language skills or speaking skills. And so if you use nonsense words, what's the use of giving that to them? Wherein you need to focus more on words, common English words that they need to understand. So never ever include nonsense words. And of course, also use simple words. Okay? Make sure to use the simple words only. Now, the fifth technique is, this one really works a lot. So most of them would love to be engaged into discussions where we use posters or visuals as reference for the skills taught. It is because in high school, if you notice, text in our what do you call this, the size of text in the different books, it becomes smaller already compared to the primary level, wherein they have it bigger and with more pictures. But in high school, there are already limited spaces and really really small text. So what I do is to use the same skill and then try doing another activity, an alternative activity for that, which has more pictures, more posters, more colorful things, or even videos that would help them out to understand how to start to read. And I have here some samples. These are actually taken from the school. I just borrowed this one. So what I do is that I use big books just like this. If you notice, these books are used for kinder, for grade 1, for grades 1. So in here there are only limited texts in the books. If you see, there are really big, I hope you can see it on the screen. Now, there are really big pictures, and it is really, of course, colorful. This will catch the attention of these readers. Remember, they are learners with learning disability. So it would be better if you try to look for something that will catch their attention whenever you teach. Okay? So there are other things that you can also use, like posters, videos from the net, or other reference materials that are more colorful and would add more, that would have more pictures in it. So again, number 5 would be use posters for a visual reference of skills taught. Now, the next one is, this one is very important. You have to limit information to the student's ability. Now, I mentioned a while ago that you really have to make sure that once you handle this type of learners, you have to know their profile. Profiling them does not stop from knowing their names, knowing their IQ level, knowing their age. No, it's not like that. But you have to profile them according to how they are learning, or the stages, or level perhaps of the level of English language that they have. Now, I have students who really cannot read, really cannot, they can only read 2 to 3 letter words. Now, with some, worst cases would be they really cannot identify letters. So we have a student, she's now in grade 8. I think she's now, yes, in grade 8 now. And what she can only do last time was to write her name. That's the only thing that she memorized. So with her, when I met her, I talked to her and asked her about the things that she wanted to learn. So those are like setting up. So that's what you need to do also. And then as I was talking to her, I also asked her of words that she can already translate from Tagalog to English, or vice versa. Now I noticed that it was really limited, like only words like cat, dog, and pig, something like that. Now, when I showed her some flashcards of letters, she really find it hard to tell me that the right letter that I showed her. So with that, she told me that, "Ma'am, I have to be honest to you that the only thing," this is in Tagalog, of course, okay? She told me that, "Ma'am, I have to really be honest to you that the only thing that I can say, that I mean that I memorize, is to write my name. My first goal, ma'am, is for you to teach me how to write the word mama." Mama is mom or mommy in other countries. Now, I asked her, why would you want that? It is because she told me that I want to surprise my mom when I go home later on, so that she will be happy to see me writing mama on a sheet of paper. So with that, there was like really, I was like caught in a moment that I was like really, oh my god, this kid is really something that we have to help, so that someday when she grows old, she will be able to have a better life. Now, on that day, like, it took us, to cut the story shorter, it took us like an hour. It took me an hour to teach her to write the word mama. And then after, you know what? After she wrote the word mama, there were tears in her eyes. And she told me, thank you. And I was also like in tears too, like, oh my god, did I do something really good on that day? So that way, like, these are just few of the stories that we have in our school. Now later on, I'll be showing to you other success stories. So in here, my idea here on telling you this story is that for us to really understand that these kids are having conditions, okay? You have to really be patient to them. So because if you don't be patient to them, who are going to help them to learn? Right? The reason and why they are in school is that for them to learn not all what is written in the books or what is said in our curriculum guide, but for them also to have a meaningful life as they grow older. Okay? So the next one would be, this one is also really effective. Reading aloud and listening to audiobooks can help a student develop a love of learning. I added the audiobooks even if we do not have this in our school, but I just added this is also something that would help these learners learn love for reading. Now, what we do usually is to read aloud. And then whenever we read aloud, like when I read aloud, it will take like one word at a time, not reading the whole sentence to them, okay? One word at a time. And then once they say the word correctly, you need to try to repeat and repeat and repeat until such time that they really can say it correctly. So again, as a teacher, you have to really, really, really be patient to them. Now, reading aloud would help a lot. The next one would be this one for sped teachers and for those who are into this type of learning. They understood that IEP is really important. So adjust lesson passing percentages to match goals on the student's IEP. IEP is what we do for SPED. Now, what I can tell you about this one is that in our school, what we do so that these learners will really make sure to pass every subject, we have also teachers, sped teachers, who would be helping these learners. So they are attending, it's like this, they are attending the regular classes in the morning. They do English and other subjects, so on and so forth, until such time that they finish the half day schedule. And then in the afternoon, we do have additional classes to them. Like for example, if they have difficulty in English, so it's more on the English subjects in the afternoon, right after lunchtime. So what we do is also, as like me, like their sped teacher, I give also grades to them, and these grades will be added, will be given to their regular teacher, so that they can also get some ideas of the scores in their activities and assignments. So they can also add those grades to that. So it's really important to have an IEP so that you can also track the progress of your learners. Now, an IEP, there must be a team, and those SPED teachers and SPED advocates know about this. It must not only be with one person, not the teacher per se, but it must be a team. Like you have specialists in there, your SPED coordinator, SPED teacher, and then the advisor, the parents, and other specialists in the team. Okay? Now, the next one would be, this one is very important. Give students extra rewards to foster motivation. So this is really important. Now, I believe that when you give rewards to them, it will really boost their confidence, like, hey, I am doing good in this. And I remember in our resource classroom, in our classroom, we do have lots of medals in there. Like there's this story that whenever these children, these learners would do something good at the end of the quarter, we also do have our own awarding ceremony. So we give rewards to them like medals, certificates, and you know what's really touching there is that whenever we do that, after we put the medals to them, these children would remove these medals and transfer it to their parents. So you see, it's really a touching story. So something like that would really boost the the emotions of the parents also, and for them to also believe that that's not to really give up on their kids. When they see some conditions in them, they should not really give up on them, right? So the last one that I can leave you is celebrate a small success. What do I mean by small successes? Like when they can write a letter, not perfectly, okay, but when they copy a letter or a word, you have to make sure to celebrate and tell them like, hey, you are doing good. Could you try doing this one again, until such time that they can write the whole sentence. So celebrate every small step and every small activities that they have done, and that way you're able to encourage them to continue to learn and to believe in themselves. It is because there would be times that they would say that, no, I can't do that anymore, I'm dumb and I'm not good. Those are the words that you will hear from them. But as a teacher, you have to make sure to divert it into a positive way and to be that person, the bigger person in that situation, that hey, I am here to help you out, and you have to also believe in yourself that you can do it. And you know why? What I always tell them is that the moment that you believe that you can do it, you're already halfway there. You're already halfway of that success. So you also need to believe. That is what I tell them. Believe in yourself. So because if when you say that I can, then it will really happen. But if you say I cannot, and that will also really happen that you cannot do it. But instead, the best thing really to understand is to make it more in a more positive way, like encouraging them to really believe that they can do it. Okay, now the next one here, let me give you a simple message for the tips that I have given to you. So keep in mind that the most effective approach to improving reading in students with learning disabilities appears to be a combination of direct instruction. These are what we learn from books, from research, from what our professors would told us, or what from what our coordinators and other teachers would tell us, plus strategic ideas that you have in you. Okay? Because you will be the one to do the adjustment and to do the modification. So add that strategic ideas which aim to fulfill the missing gaps in these learners. And if you do that, it is really an amazing story that when you see them progressing and going to another level and learning another word and learning to speak English, and when you ask them about a question and they could really write the answer in English, it is a really a good feeling in you, a fulfillment in you. Now, it is also important that as a teacher, remember this one, that you should never, ever, ever give up on them. Okay? Now, let me show you some success stories in our school. So I have here, the first one is student A. So student A, this is the profile of the student. He is now 19 years old, male. We had his IQ tested. It is because his IQ level is 35. It was tested because he joined the sports for special education. So one of the requirements to qualify is to know the level of IQ. So we had his IQ tested. It is 35. Now, if you are familiar with the slope, the curve, that one, if you studied, I forgot the exact term, the normal curve, that's it. Now if you studied sped, I know you are really familiar with the normal curve. Now if you have those learners at the middle curve, like in here, Okay, these are those learners that are, we say that they are learning, they are okay. But the two extreme most ends, like if it is on the left side, these are the sped learners like LD and other learners with disabilities. Now on the rightmost, these are the other opposite of the ones on the left side. These are the gifted learners, those who are advanced, those who have high IQ level. Now with him, he has only 35, so it really means that he is on the leftmost side. He is with learning disability, with difficulty. Aside from having learning disability, he also do have difficulty in hearing. If I remember it right, it was on his left ear. And when I met him, this is one of the things that I noted of him. Poor handwriting skills. The only thing that he can write is his name. When I met him when he was in grade 7, then he is also a non-reader, as in he cannot really read even letters. Okay, so non-reader, no really idea of the English words. And of course, because he is a non-reader, he has also poor speaking skills. So limited words, most especially he can only say, most of the words that he can say are in Tagalog. Okay, not English words. Now, the intervention that we did, so we followed him from grade 7, and now he is already going to college. So we followed him from grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in our school. Now we do resource class every day. Resource class every day. In this resource class, he was taught of different activities and different very engaging activities in math, in English, not just in English but in other subjects as well. And we were really looking at that point on what skill can we really hone and enhanced to him. It is because he was already like in grade 9, in my class in grade 9, and we still can't find any skill that he has. So we have to really find out what that is. Now later I'll show you what that is. Now he also do reading and writing lessons with me and with his other teachers, English teachers in our school, and also the other teachers. And because he was very shy and he has a really low self-esteem, we engage him into sports instead. Okay, so with that, he was able to recover on that aspect. And then we found out when he was in grade 9 that he has skills in cooking. So when he reached grade 11, he took tech walk, which is specifically for cookery. So after that, during his graduation last year, these are his accomplishments, and we were like crying as we were watching it online. He got best in cookery, best in immersion, food and beverages services. He was also best in that. And the other one that he did best is he also passed NC2. NC2 is a national exam. He also passed NC. He is an NC2 passer, I mean. So, this student A is really a real testament of a story that when a teacher and parents and other people who are behind him, if we will not give up, something will happen. Good things will happen to this learner. Okay. Now, I also be giving you another student. This is student B profile. She is now 19 years old. She's going to take senior high school for now. Her IQ level was 55. She has a student with learning disability also. Now, poor handwriting skills, of course, non-reader, poor speaking skills, very as in low self-esteem, like she prefers to be alone all the time. That was the first time when we met her. Now she's easily distracted, like simple noise or in a classroom when it's break time. You know already the setup in our classroom, right? If it is during break time, students really, they talk and they go out and go anywhere. But with her, she just stayed on her seat and just covered her ear like this. So that's how we met her. Now the interventions that we did to her was that resource class also was done, and then there was also more reading and writing lessons. And there were times, because here, it's quite, what is this? It's quite expensive to have her do the assessment. So she would tell me that some of the letters were really dancing. So I do not have the what do you call this? I am not a professional to label her with dyslexia or something like that. But she would tell me that, Mom, there are times when I look at the text or when I look at the book, some of the letters are really dancing. Others look like fish. Some are flying. Some are like, so I was I we had a meeting about it, and we thought, with our assessment, with our review on her, we thought that she has dyslexia. Okay. Now, she was also engaged into sports for SPED learners, and the skill that was developed to her was dressmaking course. There was this really patient TLE teacher who taught her how to sew. To make dresses, I mean. Now, accomplishments, these are things that she had done really, really well. Now, she was a champion, okay, champion for SPED in running events like 200 meters, 400 meters, jumping events also, jumping jump. I mean long jump, jumping jump, long jump, and also shot put. Okay. Now with this, with students A and B, these are just two of the many learners that we have in our school. Now the message here is that let us not forget to believe that there is something in them that we have to really enhance. And we are teachers, we are there in school to help them out. Okay. So with that, these are my references, and let me leave you with this idea that I learned from my masters, and it says, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe as teachers we should teach the way they learn. Thank you for listening to me. This is Ma'am Geraldine A. Santos. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mom. Another informative, detailed, and clear presentation you have shared to us tonight, Mom. Thank you so much for sharing the characteristic of students with learning disability and how to address those disabilities. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Mom. Dear participants, please thank Mom Geraldine A. Santos. Okay, so
Thank you so
wonderful,
much.
Mom. Very detailed and clear. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. So now time for quiz competition. Time for quiz competition. Okay, slido.com. The code is 4321. Okay, we already have 106 participants. Okay, www.slido.com, code 4321. To a version. Okay, okay, 166, 170. Wow. Adele Bulwan, Nicole C. Chavez. Okay, 185. Okay. Wow, 207. Join the quiz now. Code 4321. Wow, 241 participants. Okay. Join us at slido.com, code 4321. And right now we have 262 participants and counting. Okay, time to start. Okay, question number one. When special needs students learn alongside other students, A. Differentiation, B. Accommodation, C. Diversity, or D. Inclusion. Okay, what is your choice? Okay, the correct answer is letter D, inclusion, and 38% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, move on to next question. Educational setting for students with special needs. A. Differentiated instruction. B. Special education. C. Magnet school. Or D. Institutions. Wow. Okay, the correct answer for number two is letter B, special education. And 89% got the correct answer. Wow, top one now is Nell Leon. Question number three. Who can refer students to be evaluated for special education? A. Parents. B. Teachers. C. State child find. or the all of the above? Okay, the correct answer is all of the above, which is letter D. 77% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, question number 4. What is the organization for special needs and gifted children? A. CAC, which is Council for Exceptional Children. UCP, United Cerebral Palsy. C. Friendship Circle International. Or D. NAEYC, National Association for the Education of Young Children. Okay, the correct answer is letter A, Council for Exceptional Children, or CEC. Okay. Question number 5. Teaching speaking requires A. Just a general topic and the students will take over the conversation. B. Careful planning beforehand. Or C. Presentation but not real production. Okay, the correct answer for question number 5 is letter B, which is careful planning beforehand. Okay, congratulations for those 75% participants got the correct answer. Okay, question number 6. Another name for English class is A. Basic skills, B. Composition, C. English skills, or D. Language arts. Okay, the correct answer for question number 6 is letter letter D. Okay, 66% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay. Question number 7. Students that require special educational or other services much to their abilities. A. Exceptional learners. B. Extraordinary learners. C. Special needs, or D. Gifted students. Okay, the correct answer for question number 4 is A, exceptional learners. Only 25% got the correct answer. Okay, question number 8. Students whose primary language is not English are referred to as A, minority students, B, multicultural students, C, linguistically diverse students, or ELL, or the English Limited. Okay, the correct answer for question number 8 is letter C, linguistically diverse students. Two more questions. Question number 9. Students from other cultures who are not proficient in the English language. A. Stereotype. B. English language learners. C. Et, ethnicity, or the culture. Okay, the correct answer for question number 9 is letter B, English language learners. 53% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, last question. Which is not a type of educational placement used to meet the needs of students with disability? A. Special education classes. B. Inclusion. C. Advanced placement classes. Or D. Mainstreaming. Okay, the correct answer for question number 10 is letter C, advanced placement classes. Okay, so congratulations to the 10 winners. Please write your complete name chat, in our comment box or comment section so the IGP can give you the certificate. Congratulations to Lena Canet, top 1. Top 2, Maria Linda. Okay, now. Okay, time for QA question. Hey, Sir Emmanuel and Mom Geraldine, are you ready? Okay, so dear participants, please write your question in the comment box below. Okay, first question. Okay, dear participants, please after this webinar, don't forget to collect your e-certificate. Okay, please write your question in the comment box. Okay, we have first question served from Miss Hassel May Duetes Elisan. Question: how could we address LSENs in the distance learning? Who wants to answer? Who wants to answer? Do you want to answer it, Sir Emmanuel,
Okay. Um.
or Sir Mom Santos?
Okay, let's
Okay.
have
So I
from
think
Mom
that one
Santos.
goes for me, right? Oh,
Okay, okay. Okay, Mom.
it is
Go
because
on.
Alsen's in the Yes. Thank you. Can I go now? So
Sure,
Alsen's
sure,
in the
sure.
Philippines means learners with special educational needs. So these are our
Mm.
other term for SPED. Okay, so how do we address them during this time that we do have the distance
Distance
learning
learning.
when we are in the situation of this pandemic? We do in our
Mm.
school first. At the beginning, yes, at the beginning of the school year, we do the profiling already. We know where into what section they are, and aside from profiling and knowing where they are in every sections and grade level, we also do extra effort to have like what we call here as what do you call that, sir? Online consultation. do online
Mm-hmm.
consultation, we gather these learners into one group as a class. So we do that like once a week or in every it differs on the availability of the learners as well. So really talk to them, give them encouragement that we can get over to this one, and that they, if they need, we continue to adjust the different activities, or there are some activities, suggested activities done by different teachers, and these activities will be given to these types of learners also. Thank you.
Okay. I hope Mom Hassel, we satisfied your question. Okay, next question from Mom Corazon. Miss Santos, is there a definite online program now for SPED students? definite program, definite online program, ma'am, for SPED students.
If you mean online definite online program for SPED
Mm-mm.
students, it would actually depend on the type of learning modality that you offer in your school. Now, if you do have it printed and modular only, so might as
Mm-mm.
well there would be an extra effort like we do in our school, because for instance, we add online consultation as part of our
Yes.
effort to really reach out to this type of learners. Now, with other schools like the SPED school, the SPED center in our division, we do have online classes there. So it really depends on the capability and the different things that the school can offer to them. So it's a specialized thing, ma'am. I hope I answered that one right.
Yes, ma'am. I hope, Ma'am Santos, we answer your question. Mm-mm. Okay. Next question coming from, okay, again, Ma'am Hassel. What are the assessment tools for learners with special educational needs? I think also goes to
Oh,
Ma'am
okay.
Santos.
Assessment tools
Mm-hmm.
depend on the type of learner that you have. These are other okay. These are other technical aspects of the assessment tool that we offer to them. It would depend on the type of learner that you have. Like, what do I mean by type? It depends on
Mm.
the I forget the term. It depends on the condition of the learner that you have. Now, if
Type
really
of learner.
it depends. Okay. Now, with our division, we do offer, there are different initiative that the division would do, like forming different groups, different activities that can help out to these teachers to use as an assessment tool to help out the learners with special educational needs.
Yes, it depends on the type of the learners, right, Mom? Okay, so thank you so much, Mom Hassel. I hope we, Mom Santos, answered your question. Okay. Oh, now, Sir Emmanuel, for Sir Del Rosario. While everyone who learned English had a different experience and motivation levels when they acquired English as a second language, can we as teachers use common aspects of our learning process for the benefits of our learners in the classroom? Sir, it's your
Okay.
turn.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Actually, teaching English, first of all, we should know the process of teaching the language. So we should start with the motivation, then the subject matter, and the other thing. Although these are guided, or these are somehow designed, but I think it depends upon your creativity, because I seldomly use same strategy on another class. I try to figure out the needs of the student. Example, this student A needs more on pronunciation. So I'm going to attack that need. On the other hand, this
Mm.
student needs to study or learn more about vocabulary. I'm going to teach it. But I think for a common aspect of learning process, maybe we can start with number one, motivation, then number two, um, a practice or an activity before arriving to the lesson so that we can know what are the things that we really need to teach the student. Another one, the learning process, and number four is application, and number five is application again, more of application.
More on application. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Emmanuel and Ma'am Manolita. I hope you answered your question well. Okay, to Mom Santos. Mom, what practices are you doing whenever a student is throwing a tantrum while in class? What practices? Mm. Ma'am, can you hear us? Hello? Oh.
Okay, so maybe I can help. Okay, because
Okay, okay.
I
Yes, sir. So if you
okay
want, because she has
because
problem.
I also teach some Spanish students in my class. So I remember whenever my students are throwing some tantrum, I do two things. First one is I try to know first what is the reason, and I try to let the student feel that I'm just here to
Oh,
listen to the student.
okay.
Oh
So this
yeah,
one
like
is
that.
a really
Oh.
is
Oh,
it is it is really true that this is happening in the classroom. This thing that we call as timeout. Timeout. Like yes. Hello?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Please
Timeout. Like
continue.
we call hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, ma'am. You are audible now. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Okay, so I think you can continue, sir.
Um, yeah, like what Geraldine has told us, we need to do like some time out. Maybe what I do is I ask the students like, oh, can we go out of the classroom and let's eat like that? Let's talk about it. Let's
Mm.
do a walk like that because I need to let the student think of another thing like that. Or if the student is,
Okay,
I can
hello. Can you hear me now?
okay,
I
I'm
think
there
I
again.
accidentally muted myself.
Oh, okay, okay. Mom, Sir Emmanuel help you to answer the question, Mom. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Emmanuel, for a wonderful answer. Yes, and I hope Mom Alika we answer your question well. Okay, let's move on. Sir Emmanuel, how do you apply cultural differences and different learning styles in teaching English?
Okay,
Wow, good
wow.
question.
Yes, this is a good question.
Wonderful.
Actually,
Mm-mm.
I can really answer this really great because actually I get to teach students from different countries. So what I
Mm.
do first is first I need to know or research first what are the good traits of these people from this country. So I need to look at them, and
Mm.
also I need to look for some of the good places and some of the good culture. I can
Mm.
use those cultural differences, like oh, like in your country. So what can you example? Our topic is about nouns, so we are talking about places. So okay,
Mm.
so can you give one of the best places in your country, and why do you think
Mm.
this is the best one? So I can use
Yes.
this cultural differences, and also if I have like a different student in the classroom, like first one is American, the other one is Indian, the other
Mm.
one is African. So I can ask
Mm.
them differently about these things.
Yeah.
And also with a different learning style, yeah, like what I told you a while ago, we can use we should consider the Gardner's or Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory,
Mm.
wherein we can group them depending on their ability or depending on
Yes.
their type of learning. If they are good in singing, put it there, dancing, and so on. And we try to do differentiated activities for them to really cope up with the lesson.
based on the students' needs. Yes, thank you so much. So you are very right. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer, sir. Okay, another sir. It's you again. What are the tips that you would suggest to the people who are aspiring ESL teachers? What can you
Okay.
suggest?
Okay. So thank you very much.
Especially.
Since I'm also conducting some interviews on the applicant for ESO, I'm going to give you some tips. First one, you try to make yourself as energetic as possible because you are selling
Yes.
yourself. Like, hi, so thank you very much for being like this one, like that. You need to do that. And also, you need to have a lot of patience because you're a
Mm.
student, you don't know what kind of a student will enter your class. You don't have the background of your student. When you saw the student there on the screen and the material, then the show will start in there. And another one, you need to be creative. So because I am also a theater actor, so it's very easy for me to change different moods. So right now I will be happy. Another one, I will be like enthusiastic, and another one, I will be like storytelling. I use those things. So actually, we can do that. And also, one more is be patient to your students. As we all know,
Yes.
these students for ESL are really they're enrolling in the classes to learn English. So we need to be to have a very ample or a very long kind of temper for them, and we need to help them and guide them along the way. So maybe, and also last one, be a motivational teacher. Always motivate your students that they could, and they could, like that.
Exactly, sir. Amazing answer, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Next question coming from Muhammad Asif Petafi. Asif, how can better contact with students in online class? Better contact, better interaction with students in
Or
online
contact,
class.
I guess.
Yes. Yeah, contact.
I can share first. Okay. So what I
Okay.
do, because sometimes I do some group classes online. So I pose a question, and I actually use ClassIn. Maybe if some of you are familiar with ClassIn, so you can have there like a game or like a roller wherein you can pick there some of your students who will be answering the questions. So you can do that. And also maybe if you have this kind of a student, maybe you can have some poll like what we did a while ago with Slido. You can do that. And also, you can post a question wherein they can put their answer in the chat. And also, you can ask them individually to open their mic and answer. So that is possible.
Yes, exactly, sir. So I hope we answer your question, Sir Mohammed Asif Katapi. We answer it well. Okay, next question. Ah, it's you again, Sir Emmanuel, and okay, and Mom Geraldine. Thank you and God bless for sharing your time and experience expertise tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you
Thank.
so much. Sir Koshik na. Okay, for Mom Jolet. For Sir Del Rosario, as a teacher who teaches English to diverse cultures, how do you teach non-native English speaker students who are at the beginning or zero level in English in using English language?
Okay, thank you very much
Very
for
big
that, Ma'am Juliet.
question.
Yes, actually, yes. First of all, you need to start with the basics. So if the student is like is having like a zero level in English, you're gonna start like showing some pictures so that they can identify it. So you need to build up their vocabulary, but little by little. Do not send a very complicated vocabulary like apple, dog, like that. And also, you can do some action. You can make yourself as a model. Example, you teach like walking, so you walk inside the class, or you say smiling. You show yourself smiling. You said waving, and
Yes.
also you can do some songs. You can also use some puppet like this. I always use this, Mr. Panda in my classes. So especially when the student is not really eager to learn, I use dance. I use singing. Sometimes I used to dance. Sometimes we sing with a puppet like this. And I think this is very effective. Maybe start with little by little, and especially little. Start with identification of the words and understanding the words through actions. That's
Yes, very nice, sir. Just like what you have mentioned, what you have presented as a teacher, don't be boring.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, show, don't tell. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and next question. Mhm. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jolette. Okay, from question from Ballerine. Is it possible that a 5 years old child that can talk English or Tagalog fluently?
Okay, let me. Yes, that's possible. That they cannot be so fluent because they are still on the age of development. As we all know, in the theory of development, okay, by different philosophers or educationists, we can see that they are on the process of learning. So they like what I've told you a while ago. For the I for the idealism of um, idealism, we said that our brain or the mind of children are like tabula rasa. So we are just
Yes.
feeding on like that. But don't worry. Like what I told you, when you practice more and you let your students to practice this, practice and practice and practice, um, you can able uh, to let him really master the language. Actually, I cannot say that that a 5-year-old child can master a language at once. Maybe as time goes along, they can able to master. Even
Okay.
even us, when we are already at our age, sometimes we cannot say that we really mastered the language. We cannot talk
Yes,
fluently.
exactly.
So sometimes there are
Mm-hmm.
some rooms for correction and room for development.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yes, exactly, sir. True. Okay, I think, sir, three more questions. Nothing. Okay. So next question, sir. Okay. So, dear participants, please don't forget to collect your e-certificates. Today's program named Teaching English for Students with Special Needs, instruction, certificate code not required. Okay. Okay. Certification link now available in comment box and pinned comment. If you are not able to click the link, please browse www.eduigp.com for certificate. You can claim your certificates tomorrow also, so don't be panic. Yes. And if you are new, create your account. If you have an account, then log in. After that, find the seminar title and get enrolled. After you enrolled, click the get your certificate button and automatically it will download your certificate. So just follow the instructions on your screen to get your e-certificate. Thank you so much. Okay, certification pros. Okay, if you can see it on your screen, this is the title, Teaching English for Students with Special Needs. Okay, certificate code not required. Not required. Okay, this is an example of certificate of participation. This is to certify that COSIC data, corporate communication, and soft skills. So this is an example of certificate of participation. Wow, beautiful. And our next webinar on July 2, 2021, entitled Mission Magic and Endless Learning. Wow, by Shania Singh. Okay, so I hope we will see you all in our next webinar on July 2, 2021. Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
And most damage English. This is our next webinar on July 2. And most damage English is only 7 years old. and she owns in between time lots of world records and more than 50 plus award from all over the world. She is the most youngest storyteller of the world, and not only storyteller. When I spoke with her mom, I just I I want to inform something on behalf of IGP. Then on that time I can I am able to gather some information. Like she is almost a published author and a poet, a singer, and also a dancer, and also a translator. She's not only a storyteller; she has lots of potentiality. And
Yes.
one amazingly surprised things is that till date she's 7 years old, but
Mm.
she don't know about Tom and Jerry, about any kinds of cartoon, about any kinds of cartoon. And day after tomorrow she will present herself as a storyteller. And after, I think this program is one of the will be one of the best program of IGP, because
Yes.
she's the most younger speaker of IGP. She'll be the most youngest speaker of IGP, only seven
So
years
don't
old.
miss this webinar. Yes. Don't miss this webinar. Yes. That will be on July 2, 2021. And okay, next webinar, upcoming webinar, July 4, 2021. The title, Different Modalities and Assessment Tools in Teaching Math. Speakers from the Philippines, three speakers, Sir Tabamo Redentor Bulanadi, Ma'am Wela A. Carino, and of course, Sir Sakway Danny Tolenada. That will be on July 4, I think Sunday. Okay, don't miss the upcoming webinar too. Okay, on July 14, and this is July, oh, a lot. Interesting topic, sir. Upcoming webinars. Okay, so don't miss this wonderful webinar that organized by Institute of Global Professionals. Okay, on July 6, topic building bridges to the new normal. Okay, another interesting webinar on July 6. Okay, July 10, topic applied research and action research. Again, with two competent speakers, Dr. Clarence D. Hakuman, Doctor of Education and BS Ed Mathematics, and also Dr. Arnold D. Albaro, Teacher 3, Doctor of Education from the Philippines. Okay, don't miss this webinar. Okay, July 14, topic failure is the biggest teacher. Wow, I think I like that. I like that, sir. With three speakers from India, Dr. Seema Negi, Dr. Manoj Saigal, and Dr. Shunla Joy Chauhan. Wow, wonderful topic. And July 16, special education transition to new normal from classroom to class home. Wow. with three speakers from the Philippines: Veronica Galicia, Milet B. Sarmiento, and of course, Mary Ann Bataler. Wow, role of teachers. And July 18, 2021, topic Modern ELT Classroom. Speakers Miss Gada Mahmoud Kista from, where is this, sir? Okay. And we also have Mr. Ferus Abrabo. He is international ESL instructor, public speaker, Samarkand, Uzbekistan. So, okay, on July 16, we have two speakers from Palestine and from Uzbekistan. So, please don't miss this wonderful webinar on July 18. Okay, July 20, 2021, Global Impact of Tourism. Wow. And we also have a speakers from the Philippines, Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza, Maria, and also Maria Teresa and Bernabe. Wow, I think, sir, the all the topics are interesting. Okay, July 22, educators leadership skills with two competent speakers, Victoria Crescentillo Juan and also John Wesley P. Valdez. Okay, very nice topic. And July 24, topic scientific research writing and reviewing. Wow, another interesting topic. Okay, with two speakers from the Philippines, Felix E. Arcilia Jr. and also Rex A. Lim. Okay, so please don't miss this webinar on July 24. Again, July 26, we have the topic entitled Magic of Logic. Wow, with two speakers from the Philippines, Dr. Cesar R. Scairo and Paul Gary P. Abello. Wow, interesting topics. All the upcoming webinar are interested. Are very nice, rather. Okay, so July 28, topic special topics in general mathematics. Again, we have speakers from the Philippines, Ma'am Karen Dajay Karmaran, and also Christian Dave Macali, Mac, Mac, Macahilus Balatero. Okay, wow. That will be on July 28. Please don't miss the wonderful webinars organized by Institute of Global Professionals. Please don't forget to share this webinar in your community, tag your friends or mention their names in the chat box or comment section. Okay. Thank you so much for your active participation tonight. I hope you learn more. And on August 1, we have a webinar entitled Empowerment Through Education with three competent speakers from Bahrain, Trinidad and Tobago, and also in Nigeria. Okay, from Bahrain, Dr. Lulwa Al-Mutlaq, Ambassador Dana Hoslum, and also Ambassador Esther Okora. Wow, from Nigeria. And August 3, we have the webinar entitled Setting Career Goals from Singapore, South Africa, and also Albania. From Singapore, Dr. Preeti Kankru. Okay. August 5, Self-Determination Leads to Success. Wow. With three speakers, Dr. Hasna Baukala, Barbara J. Hopkinson, and also Gazala Jabin. Okay. And August 7, okay. So please, our dear participants, don't miss this wonderful webinar or interesting webinar on July 2, 2021. That is on, wait, that is on Friday evening. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.